referee and beyond to the pro game. Today's officials are Nathan Geddes and Trevor Thurston are the referees. And working the lines are Kirk Neufeld and Quinn Stevens. And this one is underway from Delta with Coquitlam in black, working their way down that left wing side, trying to center it out in front. And that's broken up in the middle of the ice, bounces in the middle, and the shot is cleared away. And Langley will send it down the ice in Charbonneau with a record of 3-1 in 5 games this season, 2.65 goals against average, and a save percentage of an even .900. Coquitlam controlling in the Langley zone, plays the puck in the middle. Now centering pass, that's blocked. Another chance in front, and Charbonnet stops that opportunity in front. And Langley will counter it the other way. This is Dewick. He'll fire a shot. That bounced off the leg. And getting in the way of that was Grayson Ing. And turning it back is Coquitlam 2-on-2 through center ice. Slide it into the Langley zone, but quickly take it the other way. Here's Bailey cutting wide. On his backhand, can't center it out in front. That pass at the back of the goal. Now comes loose in behind Sherman. Playing it up the boards. Knocked down by Bailey. Comes into the middle for Muir. He's under pressure from behind. And Langley gets the puck back and gets organized in the center ice area. And Song will carry it back in on that left wing with some speed. Song centers out in front and one-timer. And a good pad save there by Baxter. And he's looked sharp early on, turning aside all 5 Langley shots of this first period. Now Song is poke checked, then leveled and spun around at the blue line. But he quickly gets right back up on his feet and carries in as Langley's right back on the attack, and a pass for Song is poked away from him. Now sharp goes Martin. Wheeling down that right side, there's a man going to the net. Martin trying to center it out in front, but he was spun around and impeded just a little bit. And his speed. Off the face-off, Grisdale for Langley. His pass is broken up. And Charbonneau sending it around the boards as Langley gets organized on their first power play. Coming out of their own end. This is Song. Feeding it into the middle. Hansra feeds it down low, and it's tipped just wide of the goal. Now Engel tip a pass to the corner. Now Langley will set up the power play. Bring wide feed for Song. Wrist shot, that went high and over top of the Coquitlam net. As Grayson Ing is clearing himself out of the Coquitlam goal. Now another shot from the wing, and Baxter got a blocker on that. Power play. As Kadama leads the rush into the Langley zone. Gets the puck to the end wall. Couldn't quite pick it up off the boards. Gets some help there from Eugene Lee. Now the puck comes in front. Broken up by Langley. And they'll start it back short-handed with some speed. This has Hansra dancing in, and then he lost his footing as he tried to wheel in short-handed. Now Coquitlam will turn it back with 3 across the line. Carrying it down that left wing. And turning with it is Papadatos. Back to the blue line with that pass intercepted. And Langley has numbers short-handed the other way. Samari Hansra throws on the brakes. Wrist shot. Backs to the save. Takes a look and holds on to it for a whistling late. Grisdale centers it off his skate in front and is swatted away by Baxter. Coquitlam the other way. Papadatos will just guide it in deep. Charbonneau setting it up behind the goal for Song. Get it up through 4-player. And he'll wind it up for Langley. Dane Player right down the middle. Wrist shot wide on the short side. Comes around to the right side for Hansra. His pass it escape. Hansra gets it back. Sending it down in the corner for Player. Hansra's in front. Player turning along that right wing side. Plays in the slot for Song. Can center it out in front. On good defending there by Eugene Lee. Now turning with it behind his own net is Papadatos. And Coquitlam will get it up through center ice as the Langley penalty comes to an end. And they're on a brief second power play in this first period for about 10 seconds. As they drop it off into the slot of the one. Wrist shot, that's turned aside. Loose puck in front, swatted away to the boards. Zhang back to the blue line. Dewick shot off a stick and wide. As now the penalty to Sherman comes to an end. And the teams are back to 5-on-5. Here's a chance in the slot and a wrist shot put high and over top of that Coquitlam net. On another decent look there for Hansra. Now comes out in front again and is chipped over top of the goal. As Katie Zhang had a good chance in front for Langley. Coquitlam the other way through center ice. But they're hounded from behind And finally they dump it into the Langley end. 20 minutes of play. And off the draw, Langley controls. Nice rink wide feed and a wrist shot and a blocker save made by Baxter. And the rebound's cleared down the ice into the Langley zone. Bachelor plays it across. Bumped up the middle. And Langley will wheel it back in. Dewick. He'll drop it off there for Hansra. Play in the middle for Dewick. And Dewick all had one goal and one assist for their respective sides in that first period. And we're back underway for period number 2, and a wrist shot that's turned aside by Elijah Baxter, who turned aside 20 of 22. Each team has had a couple of power plays. Langley is 1 for 2, and Coquitlam is over 2 on the power play here in this one. Grisdale sending it behind that Coquitlam net. This is Baines deep in his own end, playing it up the boards. And out through center ice is Kadama, who's poke checked to the blue line. Now Song controlling in his own end and winding it up for Langley. Song gets past one check into the Coquitlam zone. Song, toe drag, cuts in. And Baxter stayed tight to the post and made the save. But a good burst of speed there for Siwoo Song. Now Hansra's poke checked. Dewick comes in for the puck. Centers out in front. Here's a chance for Langley, but couldn't get a shot away. It was Carrickton. Now he'll fire a wrist shot, and that's into the logo of Baxter. And they'll calmly hold on to that one for a whistle. But they open the scoring in this game with a power play goal. Off the stick of Jackson Dewick. And they control in the Coquitlam end. Now centered out in front, comes to the right side, and a wrist shot, and that's nicely turned aside by Baxter. On a good look there for Hansra. Now he has it at the blue line, swings on that left side, backdoor feed in front, and that's not down the slot. Puck is loose, and it's cleared away to the corner. Now it squirts free to the corner, centering out in front, and it slides all the way out to the neutral zone. 40 seconds gone in this Langley power play. Winding it back is Song. His wrist shot hit the leg of Eng, who's been solid, will counter it the other way. But Bailey breaks up that rush in the neutral zone for Langley, and then he's checked off of it. And it's poked in, and in comes Lee. He'll fire a shot. That one high and over top of the Langley net. Lee with it again at the right circle. He's had an excellent weekend for Coquitlam, is number 54. But he's checked off of it. Player. He'll get it through the middle of the ice for Siwoo Song. Played in the middle, and a wrist shot fluttered over top of the Coquitlam net, as that was off the stick of Michael Kraj. Now played up for Anderson at the Langley line. Gets past one check, but he couldn't maintain possession of the puck. Carignan. His pass is partially blocked, but Hansra will poke it into the Coquitlam zone. Puck chip rounding behind the Coquitlam net. Come around to the near side where Bailey will bump shoulder to shoulder. Now another hit thrown, and then Warren throws a punch. And I think the original penalty was going to... As it's... is over 3 on the power play, and they'll still trail in this game by a score of 3-2. Puck sent around the boards, knocked down by Grisdale. Sending it behind the Coquitlam net. Lee gave it away. Here's Shelley with a shot. Rebound! Loose in the crease, and they score! It was Shelley with the original shot after the Coquitlam turnover. Baxter battled to try and keep it out, but it trickled in behind him and eventually made his way into the net. And it's Siwoo Song giving Langley their second 2-goal lead of the game by a score of 4-2. As he was able to tuck it under. That have allowed them to open up a 4-2 lead on Coquitlam. Right of Elijah Baxter. As Langley gets the face-off. Rink wide feed, that bounced off his stick. And now a pass goes astray and it comes out to the neutral zone, and Langley will get themselves organized. But a hit frees up the puck for Lee. He'll sweep it in deep for Coquitlam. Batchelor going back for it behind his own goal. Lee pressuring him on the forecheck, getting help in behind by Papadatos. And Langley will get it up through center ice. Three of them with speed into the Coquitlam zone. Bandsra dancing in, forces his backhand, got in a little too tight. And then it's covered up at the side of the goal by Elijah. Well, with a 2 or 3 inch advantage on some of the smaller, skilled Coquitlam defenders. And this is Dewick with the puck, with Banzer, who's been flying all morning. Banzer dancing in, backhand, Baxter falls, but got down and still made the save. And then a Langley player, Dewick, got knocked down after the whistle. But it's been the speed of Samerpreet Hansra. Has certainly been a threat for Langley all game long. And it was that close to being a 6-2 Langley lead. Langley coming in with a record of 15-1 on the season. Had an 11-1 victory yesterday over Langley, or the Victoria. Here's Dewick. His shot off a leg and wide. Hands are up. On a dance in the middle, but he's checked. And Coquitlam will fire it up for Muir. Again, who was lurking all the way up at that Langley blue line. Song the other way for Dewick. Driving there to the backhand, and Baxter the save. Dewick trying to center it out in front is again Muir lurking in the neutral zone for Coquitlam. In fact, 2 players this time were lurking in the neutral zone for Coquitlam. Dewick the other way, dropping it off. Song fires, Baxter the save. So it's almost as if Coquitlam is defending in their own zone, either at 3-on-3 or 4-on-4. With all the players that Coquitlam is sending out to the neutral zone. Three players with a multi-point effort. Hayden Pothier, Jackson Dewick, and Jack Walker, all with a goal and an assist, entering the third period of play. Grisdale firing it up for Bailey into the Coquitlam end. Sending it rink wide. Now turning with the puck is Song. Back to the blue line to Grisdale. Wrist shot wide to that Coquitlam net. Rebound on the other side. Backs to the save as he came across to the left and made that stop. Back the other way is Anderson. Into the Langley zone. Firing his shot. That one off is taken over top of that Langley net. Winding it back is Siwoo Song with speed to the Coquitlam end. Dishing it off on to the right. Martin sending it to the net. Back to the save. Rebound. He's got that as well. To deny an opportunity for Brett Bailey. Fans are getting a little animated on the physical play against Coquitlam here in this third period. Sora Kadama. Coquitlam gets the draw and sends it around the boards. And it misses Lee. Now Kim backhanding it up ahead to center ice. Grisdale will play a D to D for Hansrup. Now for Song, winding it up, but he's bumped off of it at the blue line. Cleared out to the neutral zone where Grisdale has control. As Papadatos had his stick swatted away from him. He gets his lumber back. As Ing fires it up the wing for Lee. Plays in the middle of the ice, but is taken away by Langley. Jackson Dewick winding it back for Langley. 1-on-2, gets it down deep. Dewick centers it, misses everybody, and slides all the way down into the Langley end. 5:35 gone in this third period. Zhang turns away from a check and fires it out through center ice. Now bump back to Grisdale. Ooh, he just missed a big collision in the neutral zone there with Warren. And then now Grisdale is shaken up. And then Hansra gets knocked down as Grisdale is clutching at his neck. So the original contact was missed, but there was certainly contact after the fact. And the officials will get all the information that they need before making a ruling on what the penalty is going to be. It is a 5-minute major posted on the board to Coquitlam's Alexander Warren. So it's Bailey to take this face off for Langley, as they now go to work on a 5-minute major power play. Baines off the face-off, sending the puck around the boards for Coquitlam. And Coquitlam makes their way through center ice. Pass in the middle taken away by Langley and clears it out to the neutral zone. Sent down deep by Sherman. Dane Player starting it out through the middle of the ice for Langley. With speed in the Coquitlam end. Player turning. Back to the blue line, hands rub. As Player takes a hit. Here's a wrist shot, scores. From that left wing circle, snapping it on that short side, is Siwoo Song from a power play goal to make it 6-2 in favor of Langley. So Song gets the power play goal for Langley. Just 38 seconds into this Langley 5-minute major power play. And then Song is now making his way into the Langley penalty box, so possibly in amongst the exuberant celebration, if you want to say. Song may have said something. And rightfully so, going to have a misconduct to Walker. Don't need to be dropping to your knees and throwing a celly directly in front of that Coquitlam bench in a 9-2 game. And it's, quite frankly, it's stuff like that that gets parents upset. To the puck. And Langley's going to the power play. So it's going to be a boarding call on Coquitlam. As it's going to be Yu-Jun Lee that's going to be sent off for Coquitlam for that hit in front of that Langley bench. I believe it was on Brett Bailey, Dane Player, not Bailey. Jang can't quite hold the blue line. As in comes Coquitlam shorthanded. Malabat working in. Now racing after the loose puck on that far side. As Langley is on their 6th power play of the game. Bailey takes the pass off the boards. Feeding it back to the blue line and it squirts out to the neutral zone. Now fired through the middle of the ice and wheeling it into Song with Bailey. Song throws on the brakes. Trying to center it in front. That's blocked there by Kim. Coquitlam will send it around the boards. Knocked down the line by Katie Zhang. Fans on the shot. And that allows Coquitlam to send it all the way down the ice. As carrying it in is Hansrup. Laying it down for Song with a shot. That bounced wide. Now Hansrup's alone in front. In tight. Baxter down. They whack at it. And Baxter gets the whistle. And then more pushing and shoving in front of the nets. As we're now into running time here, Ben. So for the last couple of moments here in the waning moments of this game. Clock now showing at 45 game. As Langley improves to 16-1 on the season. Jumped out to a 2-0 first period lead. Coquitlam battled back with 2 goals in the span of a minute to end the first period, to tie it at 2. And then Coquitlam saw Langley open up a 5-2 lead with 3 goals in the second period off the sticks of Hayden Pothier, Siwoo Song, and Caden Montaigne. And then 3 more in the third period for Langley. Song will get a second, as would Jackson Dewick. And then Langley will get 2 more, including the finale in this one off the stick of Jack Walker at 14:47 to make it a 9-2 final in favor of Langley, defeating Coquitlam in this one here today. Shots ended up finishing 62-16 in favor of Langley. And the 3 stars in this game brought to you by For Vengeance Media, all from Langley HA. The 3rd star in this game was Hayden Pothier. And the 2nd star with a pair of goals in this one was Jackson Dewick. And the 1st star in this one, also a pair of goals in this one here today, was Siwoo Song. So